And we're back with another round of Edu Protocols Are as Good as Gold. This round, we're going to be talking about thin slides. The reason we're going to talk about thin slides first is because it's probably the easiest protocol to use. And real quick, just a quick introduction if you don't know who I am. I'm Stephanie Howe. I am an instructional technology coordinator, and I am obsessed with Edu Protocols. There's so many good strategies that you can use with Edu Protocols, and they're quick, easy ways to incorporate them into your classroom. So right here will be some resources that we'll use throughout the session. I'm going to add all of the links. You can see up here, I've got multiple tabs kind of happening. I'm going to share all of these links in the tab or in the comments and in the YouTube description. So here is a Wakelet that we're going to start collecting. All of these Edu Protocols Are as Good as Gold resources. So you can see if you want to go back to the intro about what are Edu Protocols, you can go back. If you want to see what thin slides are, all of those resources will be available in this Wakelet at the end of the session. Also, I want to really quick talk about, so you want to try Edu Protocols. We did this session with Global GEG, and the playlist, I'm going to throw it into the chat. It just goes on a student version. So if you want to see thin slides with students, aka fake students with teachers, down here you're going to go to round 2, and then you're going to go down here to the thin slides. So 20 minutes and 13 seconds is where we begin to talk about thin slides with students. And the second link that I'm going to throw in the chat are the slides from that session. So feel free to review those slides if you want to. I believe thin slides, let's go ahead and do a quick search and find. Thin slides starts on, let's see here. We're at the Frere model. There's somewhere in here, I promise. It's just loading because there was like over 300 and some slides in this presentation. There we go. So right here on 150. So slide 150 is where thin slides kind of starts. So what is thin slides? Thin slides is one word, one image, one slide, and the students get 3 minutes to create that creation. Once they finish their one word, one slide, and one image, they present for about 5 seconds to 10 seconds. So they get about those 3 minutes to work on their presentation. And this whole lesson should be done within 5 minutes. Again, this is why I love to use it, because teachers can quickly add thin slides to any lesson as an exit ticket or an entrance ticket. And so what students will do is on here, they will get a template. So right here, you can see the templates can be pretty simple. They can have multiple colors, or they can even kind of get even more fancy. And so we're going to just kind of quickly look at all of these different slides because it doesn't matter what it looks like. Students could also do this in Pear Deck, or students could do this on paper where they write one word and draw one image. Just give every student a blank sheet of paper. It does not have to be digital. So once the students have their own Google Slides, typically students will all be in the same deck, which I know can be really scary, but you just have to set up those standard operating procedures with your students. So you're going to have to just kind of train them to know you get this slide, the slides stay on your slide. So really just training your students to stay on their slide deck. And so again, you'll post this in Google Classroom. Every student can edit. Now, if you don't think your students can maybe handle that, another thing that you could do is put this in Google Classroom. Every student gets a copy, and it would just be that first slide and the second slide. And then every single student can create their own deck. The power, though, if you allow every student to edit in this slide deck, is they can see each other's responses. And you as the teacher can click this present, and they have to just present when it's their turn. So I really do think it's more powerful when all students are in this slide deck. So right here, thin slides, you'll put the topic, one picture, one word. Students get those 3 minutes. The reason it takes that 5 minutes is because it's about 2 minutes for every student to quickly say their one word, one picture, or their why. Okay. And so every student would get a slide, and you would just tell which students get which slide number. Here's another example. So this one, it kind of goes over the directions if your students need those directions. And this one was about the American Revolution. So students just recap that unit for 8th grade social studies. And then they went in and they had to provide one picture, one word. They had 3 minutes. And then they had 4 seconds to state their slide. Same thing on this one, only this one we kind of used Canva. We wanted the kids to create their one word for 2021. And so when students created their one word, they went to Canva, or they could have used a blank slide. We used Canva just so kids could get a little bit more creative. So this is an image, and then they added their image onto their slide. Again, they don't need to use Canva. They could totally just use Google Slides, but we did give them a little bit extra time. We gave them a total of 5 minutes to create their thin slide instead of 3, just because they could use Canva. So just another really fun way to incorporate thin slides into just even relationship building with that one word for 2021. And again, it's that one image. And then it was one epic Google slide transition. The reason we added this one is because Miss Fernie, she used this thin slides for when the kids came back in January. And the kids are obsessed with transitions. So why not just add them into the requirements? You know, it's a fun activity. Let them kind of have fun with it. And it was really cool because she allowed kids to do it for she's the one that also did the American Revolution. And kids were adding transitions and saying why they added that transition and how it connected to the American Revolution, which is just like a higher level thinking if you let them kind of think that way. It just gave directions on how to download that Canva. And then they were to add their name in the speaker notes. And again, reminding them of those SOPs or standard operating procedures. Don't mess with anyone else's slides. And then they had 5 minutes or 5 seconds to share their words. So again, you hit present and you just go, 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 go. And the kids just present. On here is another template. So it's just another thin slides. Again, one slide, one picture, one word. But this is just a different topic. So maybe you like something like this. Again, super easy. It's just like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, not complicated, like this hamburger. So just another really good one. And here's some directions too, if you need them for your students. This one, they prepared a 10-second rationale. Again, you can change the seconds for the topic or your class. It's always good probably to start off lower because some students don't like to talk. And I'm just like, it's 4 seconds. By you telling me you don't want to talk took you that long, and that's all you have to do. So it kind of builds up their confidence for what they want to say. This one also has a rubric. So it kind of got the slide design and then overall presentation, and it was like worth 20 points. So just some other ideas for you. And again, you would just assign each kid a different number. Be careful when you're assigning these numbers. Either tell the kids this number or the slide number. Make sure you're very clear about that, because if you say slide 4, some kid might go here, but actually their number is number 7. So just be really clarifying on what you mean for your students. Also, if you're going to use this a lot, maybe give the numbers to the students and they have to remember that one and then use it every single time. And they're always that slide number. Just might help with some like keeping up with the different things that they might need. Here are some smart starts. So I know a lot of us are either virtual going hybrid or hybrid going in person. This template right here might be really good for you just to build some SEL with your students. So right here we've got day 1, food people should not eat, best movie ever, best memory of summer. You could even put best memory of COVID, your dream job. And so all of these different things can be options just to build the relationship and culture of your classroom. Once you have that set up, you can kind of see what a thin slide looks like. So here, this teacher, Heather, she is amazing. You should follow her on Twitter. She did Valentine's plus figurative language. So her kids had a lot of fun. They did like puns and metaphors and that kind of stuff. And then they found their image and then they had to explain what that image was showing. So again, one image, one word. And then they spoke for 4 seconds. So just can be a really good way, quick way to get your students talking. And there's all these templates already built in for you. 5 minutes is all you need. So day 1, food people should not eat. What the students would do is they would have a slide available to them. And you can keep this or you can take that away. So my food that people should not eat is probably going to be Vegemite. And they could use this Explore tool. And then they can go to the images and all they have to do is insert that image very quickly. And then they can maybe say one word. And then they can write their name on the slide. I tell students if they finish early, like I just did, they can then change the background. If they want to change the background, they could do so. If they want to add a transition, practice what they're going to explain to their peers after that minute's over, they're able to. And so now that my slide's done, the teacher would hit present and I would just say, I picked Vegemite because when I tried it in Australia, it was really disgusting. So you learned a new fact about me. You learned that I've gone to Australia, and then you can build that conversation about like, well, how was it? Why did you go? And you can learn a lot more about me and how that trip went and why I didn't like Vegemite. So just a real great example of how to incorporate this into your social emotional learning. And then here's another template, pretty much same thing, but I just wanted to make sure you knew that it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be whatever you want it to look like, and you can steal one of these templates that are already made for you. This one is about China. Again, keeping the topics pretty broad, and then the kids will make it so that it kind of goes into detail about the topic, and then they can hear, oh yeah, I did learn about that. Oh yeah, I remember that from that unit or whatever. So just a great way to kind of get that knowledge and build up that prior knowledge. Recap, what'd you learn today? You could just do a real quick, hey, what'd you learn? Add it to your thin slide and share it out. And then finally, Kim Vogie is amazing. She has a Facebook page. It's called Empower Ed Venture right here. And I'm going to put that in the chat. And just a reminder, all these links are going on a Wakelet, so you have all of them. And on this Empower Ed Adventure, she's got so many shares. I call her like the overshare. She shares everything. So she's amazing. But on here, you can see, okay, I could use Pear Deck, I could use Nearpod, Seesaw, Google Slides, and she has all these templates already made for you to use. So it's ready to go. And then here's just some other examples like Jamestown, and you can kind of see what students did and what they look like. And again, one word, one image, one slide. And then how might you use Edu Protocols this week? Share. Let's go ahead and share out on Twitter, tag Gold EDU LLC, and let me know how you're using Edu Protocols this week, especially thin slides. So did you come up with a template or create your own amazing, beautiful template that you used with your students? Take a photo, add it, share the link, add it on Twitter, and tag Gold EDU LLC, and we can kind of grow our collection. I can add all of those to the Wakelet. Feel free to also email me at info@goldedu.org, and I could add them to those Wakelets. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Wakelet extension. And I am going to add all of these amazing resources right into our Thin Slides activity bank, and then you will be able to view that after the session. Stay tuned for more EduProtocols are as good as gold. And on Mondays, we'll be starting another new series, which is going to be a lot of fun. And you can be sure to check that out. Make sure you fill out that feedback form to get a certificate of attendance. And then be sure to check out our website at goldedu.org. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for joining us during this Gold EDU professional learning session. Make sure you check out our website at goldedu.org, where you can find out more information about us and how to follow us on all these different social media platforms. You can come and see upcoming events, and you can also book a session for your school, district, or a coaching session. You can also get Gold EDU swag if you want to show off your goldness. Also, make sure you fill out the feedback form at bit.ly, capital G, Gold, EDU, feedback. And this will give you a certificate of attendance. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure you check back so you can enjoy all the Gold EDU professional learning opportunities.